Hello, my little mathematicians. Today I'm going to help you get started on your tables and graphs homework assignment. Okay, so we're going to do numbers 1 and 4 together. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it wants us to do for these first three. It wants you to fill out the missing information in the table, label both the X and Y axis on your graph with the proper labels of what it's talking about, graph each of the points from the table as long as they fit on the graph, and then connect them to draw a line. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first off, let's identify what's what. X usually almost always comes first, okay? Like 99% of the time in your table. And then Y usually almost always comes second. Let's see if that makes sense. How much water you use depends upon the time. And what's it talking about? The table below shows how much water is used during a shower. Yeah, well, how long you've been in the shower is affecting how much water is getting used up. Because the longer you are in the shower, the more water you're wasting. Okay, perfect. Makes sense. So let's go ahead and label the y-axis, the water used, and that's in gallons. That's my units. Okay, and then my x-axis is talking about the time, and it's being measured in minutes. Because hopefully you don't take hour-long showers. Okay, if I were to go ahead and plot these points that are already provided, it goes on the x-axis over 1 up 2.5. So that's 2.5, which is halfway between the 2 and the 3. So over 1 up 2.5. And then over 2 up 5. Over 3 up 7.5, which is halfway between the 7 and the 8. Okay. And then if you were to extend that line, which you could use a ruler or a piece of paper to connect them, and then you can make sure that line is perfectly straight, because since I didn't use a piece of paper or a ruler, did that really hit here or did that really hit there? You know, it's hard to judge where precisely it hit unless I use a ruler, right? So again, you can just use a piece of paper. So I'm going to connect those lines. And now you can see without a shadow of a doubt, yeah, it hits right there. So if I trace that down, when X is 4, Y is 10. And that's one of the points that I needed to fill out, right? Now, unfortunately, over 5 up something like, I can't trace it on the graph. So I'm going to have to figure out the pattern from the table. What are you doing each time to the X in order to get to the Y? Well, you could add what? 1 plus what is 2.5? 1.5? But at the same time, if I add 1.5 to this, that's not 5. So that doesn't work. What if I multiplied 1 by something? 1 times what is 2.5? Yeah, 2.5. Okay. Now let's see if that pattern holds up. 2 times 2.5, type that into your calculator, is 5. Okay, now type in 3 times 2.5. You got 7.5. Type in 4 times 2.5. You get 10. Okay, now type in 5 times 2.5. And what do you get? You get 12.5. Okay, so each time you do something to the x, it should move in the same pattern of, like, you always multiply the same number times x in order to get the y. Okay, that same rate is going to get multiplied each time. Or each time you move up 1 by the x, you move up the same amount here. So each time you move over 1, it goes up 2.5. Okay, that's a good thing to recognize. But what if it didn't count by ones going up here? Then that would get trickier. That's why I like seeing the multiplicative, or what you're multiplying by relationship of what you're doing to the x to get to the y. That's a little bit easier. Or if worse come to worse, you can always use your graph. It's just sometimes the graph doesn't go up high enough. Like, yeah, I could use it to see 410, but I couldn't use it to do 5. Like, I mean, it looks like it could hit, like it's going to hit that 12.5, but that would be hard to guess, right, from the graph. But you can see that everything is interconnected. All right, let's go ahead and we did all the directions for this one. Let's see what number 4 is asking. Okay, because 2 and 3 are going to follow the same directions that we did for number 1, but number 4 and 5 wants us to complete the table based on the graph. You fill out the table headings with the independent and dependent, yes. Like here, they gave us it on the graph, but they didn't give it to us on the table this time. Okay, and then you fill out your table based upon these points on the graph. Okay, and then you want to predict what it'll be after 10 months. So X is the first one in your table, right? Okay, X is usually first. So on the X axis, it told me it was talking about time in months. Okay, and then Y is usually the second thing in the table. And on your graph, it was talking about the height in inches. Okay, and does that make sense? The graph is talking about the growth of a plant over time. So yeah, how high it is depends upon how long it's been growing for. So let's see. At 1 over 1 up, where does it hit? 2. Okay, at 2 over 2 up, where does it hit? 4. And at 3 over 3 up, where did it hit the Y? At 6. And at 4, where did it hit? Right here at the 8. Okay, now over 10 up, ooh, it's not part of the graph. So I can't use the graph to help me figure out that last one. But we know that since this is a linear relationship, it's going to move in a continuous pattern. So it's going to move at a constant rate. Whatever I do to X, I'm going to do that each time in order to get my Y. So what did we do each time? Did you already figure it out? Yeah, we multiplied 1 by 2 to get 2, right? So if I do 2 times 2, I get 4. So 3 times 2, I get 6. And 4 times 2 gives me 8. So 10 times 2 would give me 20. There we go. Did I do everything? It says fill out the table headings, which one's the independent versus the dependent. Done. Fill out the table based upon the points on the graph and predict how far it'll be after 10 weeks. Done. Okay. So go ahead and complete numbers 1 through 5. We already did numbers 1 and 4 together. You got this.